Well, greetings from Bill O'Leary, coming to you today to answer a very specific question. What is a marital trust agreement in estate planning? So in this video, you're going to learn what a marital trust agreement is, the purpose it serves, and why someone would put a marital trust in place. First, quick intro of myself, Bill O'Leary here. I'm an attorney here in Jacksonville, Florida. My firm is Legacy Planning Law Group, and we just focus on a few specific areas: estate planning, elder law, and probate and trust administration. So what is a marital trust agreement? Well, as is obvious from the name, it's a trust that's put together by folks who are married. That's why it's called a marital trust. And as you might imagine, it's very common for a married couple, let's say, to want everything to go to the surviving spouse at the first spouse's death. Fair enough? So far, so good. And many couples, frankly, are just fine with everything going to the surviving spouse directly and outright. This is the easiest way to do it for sure. This means, though, that the surviving spouse has complete control over all of the assets. He or she can do anything that they want with the money. Well, this works just fine when the couple is okay with the surviving spouse having unrestricted access to the money after the first spouse dies. But what would happen to the money if the surviving spouse is, let's say, not good with money? What if they're not the most astute in financial matters? What if giving everything outright to the surviving spouse would run the risk that everything would be spent in short order? Is there a way to prevent this from happening? Yes, there is. Instead of giving everything to the surviving spouse directly, just as an outright distribution, the married couple, they can create a set of, think of them as guardrails to protect the money. Think of it as maybe creating a lockbox for the surviving spouse. The lockbox would hold the money. The money in the lockbox would be there to take care of the surviving spouse, but the spouse would not have unfettered access to the money. This lockbox, it's called a trust, and it's given a special name called a marital trust. A marital trust is an irrevocable trust that is designed to benefit the surviving spouse. By the way, the surviving spouse can be the trustee, or you can make someone else the trustee, or maybe you make a combination of both as co-trustees. And then when the surviving spouse dies, what is left in the trust will go to other beneficiaries, usually children. There are some other reasons for implementing a marital trust besides simply where the surviving spouse is not good with money. For example, a marital trust can be used to prevent undue influence. This usually is a concern, let's say, for older couples where maybe the surviving spouse may be in declining health and there's a concern they may be susceptible to being taken advantage of. Another situation where a marital trust is often used is in a second marriage situation where, let's say, one or both spouses have children from a prior marriage. Imagine the first spouse to die has children from a previous marriage, and he or she wants to make sure that their kids get an inheritance at some point in the future, say after the surviving spouse dies, right? So giving everything outright to the surviving spouse, well, that would run the risk that their kids, the first spouse to die, their kids get cut out because the surviving spouse ends up changing the plan after the first death. Having a marital trust, on the other hand, for the surviving spouse ensures this can't happen. So a marital trust, yes, it will be there to benefit the surviving spouse. They won't be wanting for their needs, be there for their lifetime, but what is left in the trust will go back to the children from the prior marriage. And a marital trust can also be used as part of estate tax planning. Let's say where the married couple has a large enough estate where they need to minimize taxes. So here a marital trust is often used with another type of irrevocable trust called a bypass trust. This more complicated form of estate planning is typically what we call an AB trust, AB trust. So, hey, if you'd like to know more about what a marital trust agreement and estate planning is all about, and maybe how we can help you, we would love to start a conversation with you, love to talk to you. We encourage you to go ahead and schedule a free 15-minute phone call, really easy to do. We call it our discovery phone call, by going to our booking calendar. You can get there by going to the link at the bottom of this video, the scheduling link, or going to our website and and hitting on the book your free call button. It takes you to our booking calendar. Just pick a day and time that works for you. So this is Bill O'Leary signing off for today. And on behalf of everybody here at Team Legacy, go make it a great day and a better world.